If you're listening to this podcast, you're likely a thinking person. Someone who wants to understand how the psyche works, their own and others. Today, we'll talk about a man whose story is simultaneously about incredible success and very deep inner pain. About a boy who, from early childhood, found himself in a world where love had to be earned. And about an adult man who then spent his whole life trying to find what he lacked in childhood, a sense of safety, acceptance, and unconditional love. My name's Valentina. I'm a clinical psychologist and I work with adults who carry the consequences of childhood, as well as with parents who want to avoid passing these patterns on. Today, we're talking about Michael Jackson, not from a position of blame or excuses, but from the perspective of how the psyche is formed when childhood is based not on support, but on pressure and fear. Let's start from the very beginning. Michael's father, Joe Jackson, was a tough, results-oriented man. In his coordinate system, success and discipline were what mattered. Children in this system were perceived more as a toll for achievement than as separate individuals. Rehearsals lasted for hours. Mistakes weren't just corrected, they were followed by punishment. From an early age, Michael lived in a state of constant tension. You have to be perfect, or pain or humiliation will follow. He started performing almost from childhood. By age 6, he was on stage, and by his teens, a fully fledged professional artist. While other children were learning to play, his life was scheduled between the stage and adult expectations. Michael said his father often criticised his appearance, particularly his nose. For a child, this isn't just a comment, it forms a feeling that something is wrong with you. Later, this manifested in an extremely painful attitude towards his own appearance. But at its core, this is an attempt to fix an internal sense of defectiveness. From the child's psyche's perspective, a mindset is formed. Love isn't just given, it must be earned. If I'm not the best, I'm not loved. And if I'm not loved, it's as if I cease to exist. Michael's mother, Katherine, was a soft, religious, caring woman, but in the family system, she often stayed on the sidelines of conflict. She saw her husband's harshness, saw the children's fear, but rarely intervened directly. For a child, this is a significant experience. The child receives warmth, but doesn't receive safety. And then a conclusion is formed. Love exists, but it doesn't protect. In these conditions, a child often starts to adapt through their achievements. He becomes the one who must be loved, the one who strives to be perfect. And the stage, in this sense, becomes more than just a job. It's a place where recognition can finally be found. Michael entered the adult world very early, an industry where childhood talent is actively exploited and sold. Yet, he had almost no normal childhood in the traditional sense. No play, no freedom, no spontaneity, no feeling of being carefree. He later said himself that he didn't feel as though he'd had a childhood at all. And that is a key phrase. When such a child grows up, a part of them remains inside that never truly experienced childhood. One of the clearest signs of this was Neverland, the estate he created once he reached adulthood. There were fairground rides, a zoo and toys, everything he had missed out on as a child. It's an attempt to reclaim what was lost, to create a space where he could finally allow himself to be a child. Not metaphorically, but quite literally in reality. In his profile, key traits are visible: a heavy reliance of self-esteem on recognition, a warped self-image, and issues with boundaries. It is childhood that remains at the very core of the psyche. When the psyche is overloaded for a long time, that tension manifests within the body. Sleep problems and chronic stress. The body becomes the place that experiences what the psyche can no longer endure. When he had children of his own, he tried to be a different kind of father, gentler and more protective. He strove to give him what he never had, security and the true feeling of a childhood. In psychology, there's a concept of breaking the intergenerational cycle where one recognizes their experience and tries not to pass it on. The mere fact that he tried speaks volumes about the internal work he was doing. This story shows how early experiences shape the basic architecture of a personality, and how even fame and money cannot fill internal voids formed in early life. Children remember feelings, specifically whether they felt safe or not. Take care of yourselves and your children. Visit our YouTube channel and take the childhood trauma test found in the description. Thank you for listening.